Your phone is literally rewiring your brain, and not in a good way. Like, it's ruining it. I recently did a 48-hour screen-free digital detox, and I'm here to shout from the mountaintops that everyone needs to give this a try, because I'm not even joking. It's like it cured my anxiety and depression that I was experiencing for the last 2 years straight. These 2 days completely reset my mind, body, and soul. And so today, part of what I'm going to share with you is my 5-step protocol for you to do your own digital detox in a way that's fun, successful, because I know I'm not the only one that has been struggling with anxiety in the past. And I think phones and screens are a big part of this. First, let me go into what counts as screen or phone addiction as I read off the information from a screen. Ha ha ha, the irony, I know. So 2 hours of recreational phone use, that is normal, that's okay, recommended. 4+ hours daily is where it can start getting harmful, and 7+ hours daily is considered more in the addictive range. And that's not just scrolling on your phone. If you're watching TV, if you're playing games, if you're watching YouTube, it's all adding up into that screen time. So I'm curious, where do you fall in those categories? Let me know in the comments, because I will admit I definitely have fallen into the addictive category. I'm owning it. The first step to change is admitting you have a problem. So what my digital detox looked like was no phone, no computer, no TV, not even my workout mirror, because that was also a screen. The only screen involved in this detox was my camera screen, because I did document this whole experiment, and you can check it all out in my last video, which you totally should. It's really good and insightful. Highly recommend. I will link it. The camera screen didn't count for me though, because the screens that I was cutting out were the screens that I was consuming input from constantly. And if we're sitting there on our phones, on our TVs, on these screens, constantly consuming the thoughts, the ideas, the words of others, it's like we're not giving ourselves space to think freely, for our own creative ideas to come in. It's just constant overstimulation. For me, I feel like the downfall with my mental health and screens started in 2020, because so many people were home, so many more people were creating short form content. I feel like that's really when short form content started to blow up. And so many of us are sitting there scrolling, not even able to watch through an entire video because we have such short attention spans. I think it said online that our attention spans are either like 7 or 8 seconds typically now, which is shorter than a goldfish. So if you're here at this point in this video, say hi, let me know you're not a goldfish. Congratulations for holding your attention. And when our attentions can't even be held because we're training ourselves to not have an attention span, it bleeds out into so many areas of life where we don't have the attention span to actually accomplish the things that we want to do in life. So our attention spans are shorter, our anxiety is higher, and we're just sitting there like zombies on a screen. And I don't want to get to the end of my life and look back and realize that I spent more time looking at screens than actually living life. There's so much beauty out there, yet our attention is here, even here. I think it's about finding a balance and boundaries. So what I noticed for my digital detox was it was a lot more pleasant and enjoyable than I had anticipated. I will say at the beginning of it, feelings did come up that I actually found myself time to process, because, again, the last 2 years of my life were really difficult. I went through heartbreak and loss of family members, just a lot of things. And my go-to distraction was when feelings would come up and I'd be just too stressed, I would just start scrolling on my phone for entertainment to distract my mind, which kind of just suppressed that in me. And it was always lingering, just because I was always distracting from it. And in this 48 hours, I couldn't distract from it in the ways that I normally would. And so I did cry and I did feel feelings, but I actually felt so much lighter after letting those tears out. Did you know that when you cry, you're letting out toxins that you've been storing from grief or trauma or pain? So it's actually good for you to let that pressure out. I was also really able to notice all of the moments that I would normally go to grab my phone and how many of them there were. For example, after getting done filming, normally I would go sit on my couch, open my phone, and start checking social media, which might lead to me sitting there for half an hour or even an hour, or some days even more, just from transitioning between things. Or there are many times in life where I'll have thoughts pop up in my mind and then I'll want to go do research on ChatGPT or Google. Or an example, I was on a walk and I had a word come into my head that I was using and I'm like, am I actually using that word correctly? Like, I want to make sure I know the definition. In that moment, normally that's when I'd bust out my phone and look that up. One little thing that I'm looking up would then lead me to checking social media and bouncing around all the apps and losing so much time. But during my screen-free time, I was able to just notice like, oh, I don't actually need to break my focus and have my thoughts just pull me in all these directions and get me stuck in my phone. It felt like in those moments, it was like pop-up tabs in my mind that I was actually just able to close out than interact with and get lost in. Another big thing is I notice this relief from the pressure to respond to people that I now understand I constantly have been feeling because people have instant access to us, whether it's friends, family, even strangers online commenting or DMing. It feels like there's always someone waiting on a response or to hear from me or needing something from me. And during that time, I let all my friends and family that I talk to on a regular basis know that I was unavailable. And so it took that huge pressure that I didn't even realize I constantly had. It took it away. And one of the biggest things was how much I got done during that 48-hour period. My intentions weren't to necessarily just be productive and get a ton of things done and be busy, but I just naturally got so much done because I didn't have all the distraction. I processed my emotions. I read half of a nonfiction book. I read an entire fiction novel within 2 evenings, which I don't even remember the last time I did that. It's probably been like a decade. Instead of using my workout mirror, I was able to move my body and get out in nature every day, which was so nice. I kept my house tidy. I got a bunch of short form content filmed. I got 4 long form YouTube videos filmed, which is unheard of in a 2-day span. And I truly felt my intuition and felt like myself for the first time in 2 years. And I enjoyed it so much that I was dreading picking up my phone the next day. And of course I did. And that anxiety started to come back in just from picking my phone up again and having that stimulation. So does going 2 days with 0 screens change my life or your life? No, if it's a one-off thing, but if it's something that I'm doing monthly or somewhat regularly, I see this having a profound, long-lasting change on my life. And I hope I can encourage you to get in on this too. So without further ado, it's time to share my 5-step screen-free digital detox protocol. Step 1, choose your dates. I don't recommend just starting after this video or starting tomorrow without preparing so that you can have the best possible experience. So choose your dates and get excited because you get to experience life completely different for this 48 hours. Step 2, set your boundaries. For me, it was no screens where I could consume things from. When I would go on my walk, I did bring my phone turned off just for emergency reasons, as I was a female walking alone in the woods. I also allowed myself to use my parents' landline phone, but just very small occasions, like when my parents were away and I needed to get a hold of them. Speaking of talking to people, step 3 is tell your people. I told my parents and some of my friends that I would not be available during that time through my phone, and that helped reduce pressure of feeling like people were trying to get a hold of me or worry on their end. Step 4, have a loose plan or set intentions. What would you like to experience during this time? Are there projects you've been putting off? Maybe you want to go out in nature more. Maybe you want to organize. Maybe you're a content creator like me and want to get videos filmed during this time. I set intentions without the pressure of I need to check all of these things off of my list. Yet, somehow, pretty much all of the intentions I set, I was able to accomplish in a way that didn't feel forced. So set your intentions, have a loose plan. And the 5th and final part of the protocol is replacements, meaning find replacement activities instead of going for your phone. For me, I like to watch shows or movies in the evening. So my replacement for that was I ordered books and I read that novel. It was a form of entertainment that wasn't through a screen. Maybe instead of going on to ChatGPT to brainstorm, you get your journal out and brainstorm yourself from your own mind onto paper. Maybe you're a gamer or like to play games on your phone, and so instead you get something physical to do, an art project, a board game, or a solo game. Or like for me, the replacement of my workout mirror was going out in nature. There's so many things. Find what works for you. Following those 5 steps will really set you up to have a powerful digital detox. So I hope you try it. I'm telling you, I was depressed and anxious constantly for 2 years, and this completely reset me. And yes, I still find myself going on my phone and on screens now that I'm not doing it, but I'm much more conscious of it. I'm feeling a lot lighter than I was before. And what I'm going to do and what I recommend other people trying out is to do this at least once a month, but ideally, maybe twice a month. And even more ideally for myself, I would really like to get to the point of doing it every single week. So I have 2 days of no phone per week, because that would creates so much balance in my life. And I'm actually looking forward to more screen-free days. But if you didn't watch my last video where I actually shared the entire documented 48-hour process, I highly recommend checking it out. I think you're gonna get a lot of inspiration and insights from it. So click the link on the screen or below to watch that. My biggest wish, not just for myself, but for all of us, is that we don't get to the end of our lives and realize that we wasted all of this time sitting and watching other people through a screen, but actually got out and experienced life and the things that we want to do. Get out in nature, experience the world. It's so beautiful. Nature is so beautiful. I find it funny too that they're trying to create more and more of like VR, where they make it really realistic, where you can hopefully someday like taste and smell and touch things in a digital world. But it's like, we can already do that in the real world. It's like our soul is living an earth life VR experiment that's very sensual. Like, we get to already use all of our senses and experience so much, which is just an interesting way to think of it, in my opinion. If you made it this far in the video, please say hi in the comments and give this video a like, because it really helps my videos. Even though I want people to get off of their screens, I hope that the videos I put out can help people and encourage them to go actually live more fully. Now, I hope you can go put down your screen for a while and go experience life, because that's what I'm gonna do. All right, bye.